Good morning, everyone. It's morning for me, perhaps it's afternoon for you. I hope everyone is well today. And today we're going to talk about something that a lot of people are confused about: mixed conditionals, conditional clauses. A lot of my clients are software developers, IT people. I know you talk about conditionals a lot. Even business people talk about conditionals and spreadsheets and that, right? You can use an if statement to find something. So conditionals are kind of important, aren't they? Anyway, first of all, could you comment? Let me know if you can hear me. I'd appreciate that. Make sure I can see the comments. Is anyone here today? Please introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from. But first of all, how's my audio? How's my video? Can you see me good? Let me know, please. Okay. So, what are mixed conditionals? What are conditionals? And please interact today. Let me know who you are, where you are. Hey, Blanca, thank you for coming. And where are you from? Great. And thank you for letting me know you can hear me in that. And Shane, thank you, Shane, for letting me know. Okay, let's get into this. Now, what are mixed conditionals? Does anybody know what a mixed conditional is? Let me know in the comments. And we'll just ask a few questions here, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of it, right? The minutia. Hey, Blanca from Spain. Wow. I bet it's a little warmer there than it is here in Nova Scotia, Canada. I live by the ocean. It's 10:30 here, and it's only 11 Celsius. I was in Costa del Sol night. That was so beautiful. Love those beaches. Anyway, what are mixed conditionals? Does anybody know this? Why are they important to you? How would you use mixed conditional in business? Maybe you're having a meeting and you want to review something that happened in the past and how it's affecting your business today. And I'll have to look at my slides some, so kind of defer from it some. Now, what are the different types of conditionals first? And we have this silly kind of thing in English where we say it says zero conditional, the first, second, and third conditional. That doesn't really matter a lot. It's just in business, it's about your fluency. It's your ability to transition, your ability to pull these things out of your English toolkit and use them properly to show your proficiency in English and let those other people know that you have a command of a second or third or fourth language. Let's talk about this further. Now, let me ask you a question. Does water always boil at 100 degrees Celsius? What do you think? Sheen, Blanca, is this a true scientific fact that water always boils at 100 degrees Celsius? It's a little bit of a trick question, isn't it? I was living in Bogota quite a bit when we had an office there. And Bogota is at almost 2,900 meters, and water does not boil at 100 degrees Celsius there. If you're trying to cook rice, it's really difficult. You have to use a pressure cooker because the higher we go, the less, I don't know if it's less or more temperature that we need. I kind of forget, but it's not always true. But it should typically we say it's a fact, right? But Blanca, if you were living up on top of those high Spanish mountains, it would be different. You would notice it's hard to cook rice up there. All right. Now here's the zero conditional. It's very simple. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. And let me remove this banner. Banners. Hide. Yeah. Yeah. So we just say this very simple. It boils. We're just saying it's a fact. It's not a hypothetical. Often in conditionals, we're talking about hypotheticals, things that probably are, most likely are, but in this one, it's a fact. If you study hard, is it a given that you will get a good mark on an exam? So if you're doing your project management exam, does that mean you're going to get a good mark? What do you think? Would that be the zero conditional? Could I say, if you study hard for your project management designation, you will get a really good mark. You will get a good mark on your exam. It will be a good mark. Not necessarily, is it? Life isn't so certain. But if it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home. Pretty likely thing, right? So this conditional, we're saying it's most likely to happen. The result is pretty predictable. And I would say maybe about studying, that would be maybe in the first or second. So the second one is it's kind of a more hypothetical. It's maybe a little bit unreal. If I won the lottery, I would buy a new car. How about that? Would you buy a new car if you won the lottery? Maybe if it was a small lottery, it might be questionable. But if it's a big lottery, you might buy that sports car. Probably most of the guys might say, oh, yeah, maybe I buy a Lamborghini or a Maserati. Who knows? What do you think? What kind of car would you buy? It would say a lot about our personality, wouldn't it? Would you buy a Tesla? How about that? Who would buy a Tesla? Don't let me be lonely. Comment. And by the way, my name's Burton Langell. I teach business English. That's what I do every day. I produce courses and I have group classes and meet with people. I was in business for 30 plus years. And for the last 4 years, my retirement project has been helping people perfect their business English so that they'll be more successful in their career. So that their English will be at the same level their professional skills are at. It's a great pleasure. It's the most satisfying thing I've probably ever done. My brother and I created a multi-billion-dollar public company, and that was quite a ride. But this is a lot more fun. I get to meet people all over the world. It's just a real pleasure. Today is a little different. I'm talking about grammar. Usually, I don't spend a lot of time on grammar. My students come to me, generally they're at the intermediate or advanced levels in English, and I just polish their English so that they can be successful in business meetings and be comfortable and just develop that fluency. Now, so who's getting Who's getting a Jaguar? Who's getting a Rolls Royce? Or who's getting a Tesla? Or who's getting a sports car? If you answered that question, I'll probably know a lot about you, won't I? The third conditional. This is the one I'm really talking about today. This is a very elegant piece of English. It's really useful for business. When you're in a meeting, when you're giving a presentation, when you're explaining something, this will help you a lot. It's a hypothetical, unreal. Sometimes it's a pretty known situation. We did so well in the project. We wouldn't have succeeded in the project so well if it hadn't been for you, Robert, and your great skills in project management. Hadn't been for you and your great skills. If he had studied harder, he would have passed the exam. If he had studied harder, had is in this case, it's the past perfect. Studied is the past participle. A lot of students say to me, it's the second part of the past verb, the second past verb. So, success. You know something about conditionals. And I know most of you use conditionals. You use the if statement a lot, don't you? It's pretty common in programming, business, Excel. And this is a company I work with a lot. I have some really good videos and different things for learning English. I try to make it a little more interesting by getting videos and pictures and real life examples into our classes. So again, what's a mixed conditional? It combines elements of the past perfect, had, plus that past participle. So if I had flown to Paris last week, I would have that new business deal today. It had flown to Paris. Yeah, there you go. Bert would have been more successful, more comfortable, more financially secure, maybe. How about yourself? Could you ever use this statement in your business? Could you explain a project better? Could you talk about a success better? Could you compliment by using a mixed conditional like this? People tend to find these a little difficult. It is advanced English, definitely advanced. If you're ever doing an English test and in the speaking portion, you're able to use this, you're going to get extra points for sure. Absolutely. So if you're thinking of immigrating to Canada or US or wherever, and you have to do the IELTS, or if you're coming to Canada, a lot of my students, I help them with the CELPIP exam, the Canadian English Language Proficiency Index program. I recommend that over the IELTS for Canadian immigration. So does she study hard? Is she going to get the good marks? Could you use the mixed conditional in these types of issues? And think about this. What projects are you working on now? What might go wrong when you're working on a project? And hey, comment. Don't let me be here by myself. I get lonely. Do you draft a contingency plan for every project? Your plan B? Let me know. Blanca, tell me, what do you do? Uh, Shane, anybody else that's here? Is there anybody else besides these two friends? When a project ends, do you have a meeting to discuss what went well and what went wrong? Do you do a recap, a review? Now, read this and think about where the mixed conditional is. Just take a moment to read it and see if you can identify it. What would be the clue? What would be that word that would tell you that you're looking at a mixed conditional, that you've got a conditional in these two paragraphs? Anybody have anything you want to say about this? I'd love to hear your ideas. I'm just being quiet so you can read this. All right. How about this? If we I'm sorry, you're having some tech issues there, Blanca. I know these are pretty high bandwidth slides and that. So if we hadn't missed the functionality requirement described in the last point of the brief, we wouldn't be working on it now. Does that sound like a mixed conditional? If we were more realistic when planning projects, we would have achieved all the project's goals on time. So in the first one, we have hadn't missed. So hadn't tells us we're in the past perfect. Missed is the past participle in this case. And then this is the simple present here. Wouldn't be working on it now. So this has closed. We use the past perfect because the event has passed. We made the mistake. It's over. So we're going to use it. We're going to use the past. Now, if it was something that was continuing, then we would use the present, to have, or has if it's he or she. So if we were more realistic when planning projects, so now we're talking, if we were more realistic in plans, we're talking kind of present, we would have achieved, have the present perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Blanca. I appreciate that. And I'll give you a bonus at the end here that'll help you out. We would have achieved. So that's the present perfect. And all the projects achieved is the past participle for to achieve. And now, and here are my offers, especially for you guys. Anybody that the first 10 people who DM me, I haven't got all the time in the world. I do quite as many classes as I really want to. A free 30-minute lesson so you can use mixed conditionals for business success. I give you time to practice. We'll do some exercises. I'll assess your English for you, give you some tips on how to improve your English, And of course, I mean, I like to develop new clients, but I don't necessarily expect you to be a client. And I'll also, during this, I'll invite you to our weekly free practice sessions I have on Saturday. So you could attend one of those and meet some of my past or present students. I offer that to everyone. Just come, have a little discussion. It's a business meeting, and just don't worry about making mistakes. It's all about making mistakes. We learn by making mistakes. And the second thing is I have a free 7-day video course on business small talk mastery. This is good. Small talk is very important to us. This is how you develop relationships. Uh, this is good for your business. Your ability to make small talk will be a big determiner in how successful your career will be when you use English in international business. And I think I'm right that most people who are working in international business are going to need English. And if your English is good and you're comfortable with it, and you can work at the same level your other professional skills are, or at the same kind of level your first language is at, then you are going to earn more money and be more successful. And I love to see my students doing better for their families, better for themselves. Just a sense of accomplishment, isn't it? It's a big thing being able to speak multiple languages. And I know Europeans often speak several languages because you mix with other Europeans. Uh, Now, I also have a course I'm just about to release on meetings. This is a very comprehensive course. It's a small investment. I think I'll probably ask just $47 for it. It's several hours. It covers just about everything I think that could be covered in English for meetings. How to give your opinions, how to disagree with somebody in a polite way, how to lead a meeting, how to consider the body language, the tone, the intonation, and that in English. All those nuances, all the little things that kind of show that your English is very advanced and that you can be a leader using your English. Does anybody, what would you like to hear about next week? What is most important? Most of my live sessions have been about doing meetings, uh, doing interviews, whatever, doing exams. Generally, I don't do one on grammar. This is about the only grammar lesson I really teach because it's advanced and I like the language. I think it is very good for my typical student. My typical student is a IT or business professional who are moving through their career and want to achieve things. So this just fits in really well. Um, Now, I guess I will have to wind this up pretty soon. Does anybody have any comments, any questions? Just leave it in the comments. Now, today I'm very busy. I have to meet with clients for the next couple hours. And then I have my own coaching session today, and then I have several more meetings with clients. But if any comments you leave, I promise to get right back to you. DM me if one of these offers you would like to use. And look, you have no obligations. Just come meet. I love meeting new people. I love making new friends. So I hope you have a great day. Get out there, use your English. Let me know what you need for help, what challenges you have, what your English goals are. I'm always available. This is my passion. Gives me my purpose for getting up in the morning and staying up and studying and doing things. So anyway, let me know about yourself. So thank you very much for attending. And I wish you the greatest success. And also, I do have a YouTube channel. It's Bert's IT and Business English. You'll find a lot of different videos there. And I have a YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel. I have a Facebook thing and group, and it's learnbusinessenglish.ca is my website, and the Facebook is Learn Business English. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you. I'll wind up now.